that want to talk about it and they're scared. But sweetheart, I'm not scared. I'm legendary in these streets. You know how many artists I've spoken to behind the scenes that are too afraid to speak up?
So we'll speak, y'all.
I'm gonna speak because y'all can't touch me. I am completely protected. I am protected by God. Y'all don't see that?
Remember when Jay-Z said this?
I think we passed kneeling.
Let me play it again. This time, look at the reaction of the lady sat just behind.
Rapper Nicki Minaj was the apparent target of a swatting call last night. At around 7 p.m., the LA County Sheriff's Department received a call claiming an assault with a deadly weapon.
Just blew the lid off with real receipts, and she's coming for everybody. She's accusing Roc Nation of running a full-blown setup operation, targeting grappers, and she's not holding back. Jay-Z's name is right there along. With Desiree Perez, the same woman who went from convict to federal informant, but Nicki ain't just throwing around wild claims. She's making serious connections, saying Roc Nation had a hand in Tory Lanez sentencing, 6ix9ine being labeled a snitch, and even Casanova catching those RICO charges. And guess what ties all these cases together? Each of them had something to say about Desiree Perez. But then boom, it gets even darker. Desire's own daughter stepped in and backed Nicki up. She straight up said her own mother had her locked in a psych ward for no reason at all. That's wild.
7th of last year.
So legally, I can't go home.
No.
Why?
Demore Hadley says she was lured to that parking lot by someone posing as a potential client for the landscaping company she runs with her then boyfriend, now husband.
She said her mom didn't just play dirty. She went full-blown cartel with it. Once she told Desiree she wasn't leaving her husband, that's when things got.
Desiree can allegedly do that to her own child. What would she do to Nicki now that she's exposing real receipts? And let's keep it real, Desire's daughter been spilling this online, but no big news outlets touched it. That's why Nicki is going public, dropping cold, hard proof that Roc Nation might be linked to federal moves. Here's what Nicki really dropped, and it's wild. She posted a screenshot straight up claiming that Roc Nation and Desiree Perez have been teaming up with federal agents to spy on artists and use their legal issues like a leash to control the mint.
A doctor she says she'd never met before. And according to Demore, it's her own mother who's behind it. In this lawsuit, she claims her mother, Desiree Perez, used unlawful means to have Demore falsely detained under Florida's Baker Act and Marchman Act.
So she's the CEO of Roc Nation, a company that she owns along with Sean.
And it's not just some random screenshot. The doc flat out labels Desiree as a confidential informant for federal law enforcement. But here's the kicker. This ain't from no shady DM or gossip blog. It came directly from a lawsuit filed by none other than Desire's own daughter, Dara Hadley, according to those court papers. Desiree forced her daughter into a mental institution with no medical reason at all. There even came with body cam footage showing the exact moment she was taken away. And she's saying her mom plotted the whole thing. But wait, it gets even uglier. The lawsuit says Desiree pulled this just to ruin Deer's marriage to Given Hadley. Deer claims her mom threatened her with the Baker Act.
I can't go home.
No, you cannot.
Why?
Because you're being Baker active.
Body camera video shows the moments Broward deputies encouraged Demore Hadley to get into this pickup truck with people she says she didn't know.
I can't ride with you and you guys take me?
You're going to be in handcuffs? The dog's not going to be able to come?
I don't want to be in handcuffs.
Okay.
Demore says they took her to a hospital for a mental health evaluation after this doctor signed paperwork saying she was a risk to herself.
What he told me was, we received a call from your family.
That's Florida's heavy-hitting mental health law that lets authorities lock someone up for evaluation just because she wouldn't divorce her man. Desiree allegedly used her money and influence to break the map apart. The Baker Act lets cops, judges, or mental health workers lock someone up for 72 hours if they're a danger to themselves or others. But here's where things get straight up disturbing. Desiree Perez allegedly used that law not out of concern, but out of hate, according to Deer's lawsuit. The real reason Desiree wanted her to leave her husband, Given Hadley, is because he's black. Yeah, you heard that right. The same Desiree Perez who Jay-Z put in charge of Roc Nation is now being accused of straight-up racism by her own daughter, who claims Desiree told her, "I'm going to Baker Act you. If you stay with that N-word, I will." Have you committed? That's sick, and it doesn't stop there. Dacked up her claims with receipts. She posted pages of medical documents proving she wasn't on drugs, wasn't having any mental health issues, and had no reason to be institutionalized. She even posted the paperwork on X and wrote that fake blogs and shady pages were being paid to push lies. She had blood work, urine screens, and even a hair follicle test, and not just once, 3 separate clinics tested. Plus, she got over 10 years worth of primary care visits that proved she was clean the whole time. "I've never done drugs. I've never drunk alcohol." That's what Dare said loud and clear. So how does all this madness connect back to Nicki Minaj? Nicki been warning people about Desiree Perez and Jay-Z for years, but folks kept brushing her off, calling her bitter or dramaticent.
Y'all don't know what the we go through at the workplace. You know how many women, I said this on Twitter, get strategically blackballed out of their positions when they're a little too strong, when they're a little too smart, and get told that they're angry black women and they're having a breakdown?
And they didn't want to hear it. Remember when Nicki and Megan Thee Stallion were trading diss tracks last year? That's when Nicki started hinting at dropping bombs about Desire's shady moves. She even called out how Desiree allegedly fired a bunch of Roc Nation staff for no legit reason, Nicki wrote. On the next song, I delve into all the people Desiree allegedly fired for unknown reasons, other things as well. So many people were blindsided and hurt by her allegedly. And it didn't stop there. Nicki said Desiree was so obsessed with replacing her, she'd go broke trying fix it Jesus. She wrote, but now the truth is unfolding. Those employees weren't just laid off randomly. They were reportedly let go just for being Nicki Minaj fans. And now Desire's own daughter Dare is backing Nicki 100%. She's saying Roc Nation and Desiree have been pulling dirty moves behind the scenes, all to take Nicki down. In a recent interview, Deary straight up said Roc Nation didn't just come for her, they went after her family. She claims her husband and even her son were targeted. That's beyond messite.
She has been through some trauma and some abuse with Roc Nation, with Desiree Perez, with other individuals. Not kind of, they've abused her. They've abused of her platform, they've abused of her talent. They've abused of her freedom of speech, they've abused her family, they've attacked her husband, they've attacked her child.
Or even compared Nicki's situation to what she went through with her forced hospitalization. She said, Desiree and Roc Nation are way more dangerous than people think, like seriously. Evil behind the scenes. After Nicki saw D's lawsuit in interviews, she clapped back hard on X. She said, to the PMIs who claim it wasn't made clear to your ugly asses, hopefully this massive and detailed page-by-page claim gets you all the way caught up. I'm never calm, a liar, never insinuated either.
Roc Nation, my mother Desiree Perez, all these law firms, Reed Smith, they have a lot of money and connections and resources. Really sad. Somebody so resourceful, talented, high profile as Nicki Minaj being targeted. It should really scare the American people. It should really scare you guys too, right? Because I'm the daughter, so it's like at this point, if it's happening to me, I think she's really outspoken, and I'm grateful that she's being outspoken on it, because I think she's almost saying it like, well, it happened to me, it's happening to her, let me speak up on it.
Every single angel ever created fights for me at the mere mention of that word. As it relates to me, vengeance is the Lord's. Be careful, no one who conspired on the wrong side will go unpunished for the role they play in this movie. I hope it was all worth it. Nicki didn't hold back. She confirmed Roc Nation really targeted her husband and her child, and that even now people with power are still trying to break her family apart. Now this next part, straight up insane. You probably remember when Nicki's house kept getting swatted over and over in 2023, right? Well, according to her, it wasn't some random prank. It was part of Roc Nation's twisted campaign to break her down. It started when Simeon called the cops saying Nicki was harming her own child. LA pulled up fast, ran a full investigation, and found nothing. But just hours later, Another call came in saying there was a fire at her place.
Officers arrived at Minaj's home around 6 p.m. to investigate a report that Nicki's 3-year-old son was being abused. After examining the toddler, officers determined he was safe and they left, but another call was made in the early morning hours, and around 3 a.m. Minaj and her family were awakened after a fire was reported at her home. Firefighters arrived and found no flames. Swatting is a term used by law enforcement officials who use to describe an act of making a false report in order to—
Nothing then. A few weeks after that boom, another fake call hits. This time someone claimed Nicki had been shot. Police rolled up heavy. But again, no evidence of anything, no crime, no emergency. Just more stress dumped on her family. The LA Times confirmed it too. The LA County Sheriff's Department got a report about a woman being shot in Hidden Hills. The caller said a friend shot a black woman, but turns out it was all fake, a swatting call. And yes, a neighbor told the LA Times. Law enforcement actually responded to Nicki's homite.
Nicki Minaj was the apparent target of a swatting call last night at around 7 p.m. The LA County Sheriff's Department received a call claiming an assault with a deadly weapon had occurred at the Grammy winner's Hidden Hills residence. The caller claimed somebody had shot at a black female, or had shot a black female adult, and 2 suspects wearing all black were still on the property. But when deputies arrived at Minaj's residence, there was no evidence of any crime.
This wasn't random. It was repeated. It was strategic, and it happened right when Nicki was dragging Roc Nation into the spotlight and hinting that something shady was going down behind the scenes. So when Desire's own daughter says that Roc Nation will destroy anyone who doesn't fall in line, and Nicki's getting swatted while her child is being dragged into it, you gotta stop and ask, was this all part of the plan? Was Roc Nation sending a message? Because none of this feels random anymore, and not one bit. Let's not forget who we're dealing with here. Perez has a very shady history, and Nicki wasn't just a target for beef. She was a target because she spoke the truth. No one else wanted to say out loud, Roc Nation isn't just pushing records. It might be a front for something way bigger, something federal. And at the center of it all, Desire Perez, a convicted trafficker turned government informant, according to a deep dive from investigative account Resist Programming on X. Desire was arrested back in 1994 for trafficking 35 kilos of cocaine and conspiracy to distribute. The court files reviewed by the New York Daily News say she was tied to a major drug operation that stretched across New York, Florida, and Puerto Rico. And here's the kicker, she wasn't acting solid.
Yo, all the facts of the juice of Tory Lanez going to jail and this, that, and the third, and Megan getting arrested and da-da-da-da. 2 days after that, I get a call from Roc Nation that says, yo, we heard you're gonna make a statement about what happened, and
there were others involved. Now, here's where it gets even deeper. Desiree wasn't alone in all this. Her husband, Juan O.G. Perez, was in the mix too. And guess what? Juan isn't just anybody's, one of Jay-Z's closest friends. They go way back. In fact, they co-founded the 4040 Club together in the mid-90s South. And later, Jay made Juan the president of Roc Nation Sports to this day. They're still tight, like family level close now, back to Desire's wild pass. You're probably wondering what happened after she got busted with all that weight, right? Here's the twist, she didn't do any real time. Instead, she took a deal turned into a federal informant and even wore a wire to help take down some of her old partners. A 2014 report by the New York Daily News revealed that federal agents were thrilled with her cooperation. They called her their star mole. That same article painted her as a Manhattan nightlife queen with a long rap sheet, tight ties to Jay-Z, and a past as both a cooperating witness and at one point a fugitive.
That I want to call Alex Spiro, Desiree Perez, and the whole wicked system of Roc Nation, including you, Jay-Z.
Yes.
You who say you rose from the gutter, but you have traded and bartered the soul.
Yeah, she eventually got a pardon, but according to Nicki, that doesn't mean she ever stopped informing. Nicki claims both Desiree and Jay-Z are still government snitches, and that Roc Nation ain't just a label, it's a federal machine set up to trap Rapper Sand keep the whole hip-hop game on lockdown. Tory Lanez was convicted in December 2022 for allegedly shooting Megan Thee Stallion, but from day one, the case was full of holes. Key evidence like gunshot residue didn't match the story that Tory pulled the trigger. Even Thebble had fragments that were supposedly taken from Megan's foot gone vanished. One doctor said he removed fragments, but when Detective Stagner took the stand, he straight up admitted they couldn't be located, and it gets messier. Multiple witnesses claimed it was a woman who fired the shots. Tory's team questioned the bullet's trajectory, the chain of custody, and the whole narrative being pushed. And right before his sentencing, Tory called it out. He accused Roc Nation of orchestrating a setup, and once the guilty verdict dropped, his father lost it outside. The courthouse cameras caught him yelling that Desiree Perez, Jay-Z, and Roc Nation trade and barter the souls of young men. But it's not just Tory. Like Nicki been saying, if you speak out against Roc Nation, it's only a matter of time before you end up in a courtroom or behind bars. Look at 6ix9ine branded the ultimate snitch, dragged through the dirt for cooperating in his RICO case.
Rap game don't want y'all to know certain stuff, right? And I'm gonna expose the whole rap game right now because I got facts, right? This is what I do when I come on live. And shout out to the Queen Nicki, she'll be joining in just a few. She's an executive at Roc Nation. She's an executive at Roc Nation. You see her with Meek Mill. You know what I'm saying? She's an executive at Roc Nation. There she goes right here, right? Let's see who Desiree Perez is, right? The story that
15/28/1603. But here's what nobody's really talking about. 6ix9ine didn't just snitch. He also teamed up with Nicki to publicly call out Desiree Perez and Roc Nation. And right after that, his whole image got torched. Coincidence? Then there's Casanova, another rapper with ties to Roc Nation, who suddenly got slapped with major federal RICO charges. But check the timeline. Casanova had just started speaking up about Roc Nation's shady business moves, and just a few months later, the feds swooped in, and the way his indictment rolled out, it fits the exact same blueprint. Nicki already laid it out. Sign them, trap them, control them, and if they resist, burn them. But here's the wildest part. Nicki's not done. She's got more names, and it's not just rappers. She's sitting on a list that includes managers, judges, execs, even media insiders. If Nicki really decides to let it all fly, we might witness Roc Nation fall apart in front of the whole world, live and direct. Like, share, and subscribe, and tap in for what's coming next in our hood, because it's about to get even crazier.